Hello everybody, welcome back to Screen Stars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2020 comedy film The Comeback Trail, a film that is co-written and directed by George Gallo, and it stars Robert De Niro, Tommy Lee Jones, Morgan Freeman, Zach Braff and Emile Hirsch. Quite a cast, I think you will agree. Now this film focuses on Robert De Niro's character, Max Barber, who is a failing film producer in the 1970s. He is in some debt with the local gangster played by Morgan Freeman, who financed his last movie that was a financial disaster. He's got this one great script in his possession, Robert De Niro's character, that he is refusing to relinquish because he knows it's the script of his life. But he's offered by a rival producer, a successful rival producer, Emile Hirsch's character, $1 million for this script. He reluctantly agrees, and in the process of this, there is a film accident where a famous actor dies on set, and it's reported on the news that the producers received $5 million of insurance money because of this death. An idea then sparks in Max Barber's head, and he decides to finance another movie with a washed up Western action star, Tommy Lee Jones's character, Duke Montana. They're going to finance this Western, and what he's going to do basically is going to kill his star and get the insurance money. However, what he doesn't plan on is the fact that he just can't kill this guy, and it just doesn't seem to go according to plan. And in actual fact, quite by mistake, he may well be making the movie of his dreams. Right, what are my thoughts on The Comeback Trail? Well, I will be brutally honest here, guys. I was expecting to completely hate this film. I've not heard of this film. I'd be surprised if many of you had heard of this film. And look at this cast. You've got Robert De Niro, Tommy Lee Jones, Morgan Freeman, Emile Hirsch, Zach Braff. There's some fairly famous names included in there. And I'm thinking, why haven't I heard of this film? And then I saw who was making it, George Gallo, who just recently made the Vanquish film that I reviewed on the channel that was terrible. I looked at his filmography. He's not really done anything that really stands out. A couple of pretty poor movies in that filmography, and I'm thinking this is going to be terrible. The concept sounds a bit like Get Shorty, but it sounded like it was going to be really, really bad. I was expecting it to be really, really bad. Is this film really, really bad? Well, actually, no. It's quite watchable. I'm not going to lie. I'm sure there are people out there that's going to hate on this film quite a lot, and I get that. I've even looked at the Rotten Tomato score, which I don't hold a lot of stock in at all, generally speaking. I don't really bother with it, but I did check it out for this one. And it's kind of getting kind of below average scores, and I get that, but it's not like, you know, under 10 or 0 Rotten Tomatoes or whatever. It's actually quite a fun, watchable comedy, this. Robert De Niro has proven in the past that he's got comedy chops. He's done it over and over again, right back to Midnight Run in the 80s. You know, his comedy timing is there. It has always been there, but some of his film choices over the last 20 years have been questionable at best. I really liked him in this film. I thought he was great, of this desperate film producer who was on the edge financially and creatively, and just trying to pull this con, you know, trying to kill his main star, Tommy Lee Jones, and it all just not going to plan. And he plays the part really, really well, Robert De Niro. He's actually really, really good. And very, very watchable. Anybody else playing that part, it might have been corny, it might have been cringy, but he nails it. He gets the balance just right, I think, Robert De Niro. And everybody else in the film is on point here. Tommy Lee Jones as the washed up Western star is great. You know, I mean, you've seen him do these characters over and over again, and he kind of dials in these characters that he's tapped into before on previous films, and he kind of tones it down a little bit because it's a comedy, but he's a very likable character. Morgan Freeman is probably in it the least, playing like this gangster guy, but he actually shines a couple of times in the film. Um, he's okay doing this role. Doesn't really stretch his abilities, but he's fine in it. Zach Braff I thought was great. He plays the nephew of Robert De Niro. They kind of run this business together, this production company together. He was fine. He was really, really good. And the cast all really just did the job. And it all just kind of fell into place, this film. And it was very, very watchable. I even laughed a couple of times. It's not a side splitter, but there are a couple of moments, you know, when they're trying to kill off Tommy Lee Jones and it goes wrong. And it usually goes wrong in the direction of Robert De Niro's character, and it just made me giggle a couple of times because he was getting what he deserved. It was almost like a Roadrunner cartoon, you know, and Robert De Niro's like Wile E. Coyote. Everything just wasn't working for him, and everything just landed on him. You know, he was getting battered by horses, bulls, explosions. You know, it was fun. It was slapstick type humour that is fairly old-fashioned, but I think it still has a place in movies. And I think they got the tempo just right here. It's a fun, watchable film that might give you a couple of chuckles with some fairly entertaining performances by industry veterans, I would suggest. Is it comedy of the year? Certainly not. It really, really isn't. But it genuinely surprised me, this film, as to how much I enjoyed it, and I really did. So I'm going to give this one a 6 out of 10. But I can definitely understand anybody hating this film. It ain't a world beater or anything like that, and it's just entertaining. And sometimes that's all you need with a movie, just a nice, entertaining film with some names that you recognise that you can just chill out and watch and have a good time with, and that kind of nicely describes this one. So that is my review for The Comeback Trail. A pleasant surprise for sure. Be sure to check this one out when you get an opportunity. Thanks for watching, everybody, and of course I will be back with plenty more content on the channel very, very soon.